Good afternoon, Judy Allen here, San Antonio in Texas, and yes, I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today we're focusing on paper pumpkin. Usually this is a Nana and Zoe affair, but Miss Zoe is still out with her ankle, so there you go. She sat there and was longboarding and didn't break her ankle, but she bruised it up pretty bad, so she's still hanging in there with her crutches and stuff. So that today we're going to be doing a beautiful set for the dads in our life or sons, right? Or it could be a happy birthday for the son, or it could be a happy Father's Day for son, friend, or whatever. But I like that this month we're focusing on, right, the guys. And not only that, you get Peaceful Pine, which is a new in color coming out May 5th. In addition to that, it also works very well with the Waterfront Retreat or whatever, something like that. I have it right over here to the side. I'll show you. But it coordinates very nicely with that too, as well as, let's see what this is here, the Relaxing Waterside bundle. So I like it that they've coordinated both together, that you can do for Father's Day and blend them together and make different cards for the guys. Because that's one thing I think we sorely need, is doing something for the guys, right? So with that, I want to go down the hands, and I also want to show you something else too that's coming soon our way. So this is actually the Relaxing Waterside, and it comes with this coordinates very nicely, and you're going to see here how just some of the images and all coordinate really nicely with this bundle here. But in addition to this, is at our retreat last weekend, we made these 3 cards right here that you see how the paper, the bicycles as we make this, the life preservers, and everything that we made at the retreat is going to coordinate really nicely with this. Thought maybe we could see that there. It doesn't have this in here, right? But it coordinates very nicely together, so I like how they did that. And the other thing that I wanted to show you is, yes, Winnie the Pooh's coming. We have the stamp camp coming up. So if you're interested, be sure to check out the details. And you want to be sure to reserve your spot before they sell out, okay? Cute, cute stuff coming out. Love it. And everything else, right? So if you're not a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you might want to think about it, because they've got some beautiful stuff. The other thing they did this month as well too is they had a separate insert that would come out with this printed on it. And now they're doing this on the back side of the instructions. So you have the cards here, what they're going to look like. And on the back side, you've got it printed out nicely for you to be able to see what the sentiments and all are, as well as what comes in the kit itself as well. They did that. They just didn't have the sentiments on back. All right, so let's get down to card number 1. And the thing is, I love about this too is look at these. This came in the kit also for bling. They had these a little while back, and these were really always good for the beach stuff, right? So it looks like maybe they're thinking about that again since it's in the kit. All right, the first one. Now these are not alternatives. These we are just today making what is in the kit, but you can see how easily we could slice this and create some alternatives from it, right? We can. I love doing that. And I love showing you how to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and just fold this in half. Yes, and if you're out there, be sure to leave a comment, emoji, or something. That's how you always get entered in the door prizes. And we sit up there and do those at the end of every month when we're on our last, well, I guess it would be this the last weekend of the month, right? And we sit up there and do the drawing based on from the last ones that we did. It's always the last Sunday of the month. All right, so this one has got a Happy Father's Day on it. Yes, this is a good time to kit together with us, right? So you can get yours done if you have one. If not, bring another kit that you need to work on and get that done. So I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put it down a little bit because we're actually going to stamp a little bit of rope look on top. Well, actually, it's supposed to be on the top and bottom. All right, I'll tell you what, let me flip that over. Since they want me to do rope on top and bottom, I was thinking just the top. All right, that's fine. I just flip it over. That's all I had to do. And we're just going to go ahead and stamp this on the top and the bottom. All right, so it is, right? Sometimes it's hard to see white on white. So if you sew, just bring something else over there. So you can see how that goes right nicely across there. I do like this, right? This would be very nice to incorporate this with the bundle they have coming out the 5th. Yeah, we get it early because we're demonstrators, right? And I'm going to go ahead and get the Happy Father's Day in there. We're going to come back and get the greenery in there too. they have us stamped, doing all of our stamping, getting it out of the way, right? So this is just a cute set. If you missed every month is cute. If you haven't tried it out lately, you really should, because you've got a lot of cute stuff. I'm going to set that aside. We're going to also stamp. So I've got my blocks already lined up. If you've done a bunch of kits or anything, the thing is, you'll find out very quickly is that you have blocks. So they actually have this one here. And it's just going to be stamped right down here on the bottom here to mix in with this greenery. And then they also have us stamping some seagulls. Yeah, so this is just in cute. When you get paper pumpkin, you just get one. But if you've ever ordered any of the kits that are kits that you stamp, you usually get an ink spot as well as a block. So that's how you accumulate, because I usually get all the kits. Let's see, I'm only just missing the one last set of words. And that is, oops, let me see here what this says here. Okay. You are such an inspiration. You're an inspiration. All right, and they have us stamping this right here in the middle of this here. So this is a good time. Just if you get a paper pumpkin, come together and we can create together right here and get them done. All right, so we've got this here. Now they have us putting this on. So they share you step by step. So we just finished all of the inking. Everything when it's stamp and ink, right? So now we're going to start putting things together. So the first thing they have us do is they actually have us putting dimensionals on the back of here. And I'm using my own dimensionals because I have plenty. I saved those. We're going to be doing next weekend with my team cards for kids in the hospital. But usually when I have a group together, whether it's at the library or somewhere else or whatever, right, I always try to make sure to bring a bunch of materials for people that come together to help us out. And so I usually try to keep my packages the same, but they have us putting quite a few of these just sort of scattered on here. Got two at the bottom. Yeah, so how's your day? It's supposed to be 90-something degrees, over 90 degrees today, so it's definitely a day that the breathing conditions for some people are not easy. So it's a great day to be inside and creating, or a great day to just chill, right? Maybe take a nap or something, read a good book, or make some cards. That's right. All right, so this one here, they have us putting it right over here toward the right side. That's what we're going to do here. You're just lining the top and the bottom up together, just like that. And then we've already got this stamp, so they have us putting this together. Now, they actually have us putting this together with the tape and dimensionals. And the reason for that is, on this one, is because part of this is going to be laying right down here. And this is already on dimensionals. So this is the side you want the tape on, and the left side is the one you're going to want dimensionals on. But when you flip it over, right, it's just the opposite. So we're going to put 3 dimensionals. And this is what we usually do in regular card making, right? If you haven't done the card making before, that's just a way that you balance it out, right? It's the way that keeps it there. You get the tear and tape. Yep. So this is nice. I like it when they provide. So everything's, so if you've ever wondered, everything is in the box, right? So this is what I love about when I go on trips. I take it with me because I don't have to worry because I know everything's in the box. All right, and then we're going to put Father's Day on top of it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one on, though, because I can. So if you're never sure, just all you got to do is look at the instructions. So they don't give you written instructions, right? Many times for other things they give you written instructions. This doesn't. It just gives you visuals. So I'm going to show you again just so you can see what that's at. And this is just going to come right about down here. Right? It doesn't matter if it's perfect or not, right? You're going to give it to someone. So if you're wondering how I know, see these little, I guess, how many sides is that? 5 or 6, I don't know. In fact, I think it's a hexagon. All right, so you see there where they showed you how they did it on this piece here. Right here, you can see where they showed you the tape in here. And again, they've used the blue for the tape, so they show you where they do that there. And again, so on the small little sign, we're going to do 2 dimensionals on one side, a little bit of tape, and this here we're going to use just some dimensionals and nothing on that side there. So that's how I'm seeing and knowing that information. So if you want to know, that's how it wasn't like I made it up or anything or had to think about it. They got it right there with the picture for me, and I just follow the picture. Unless I want to do something different, right? So there you go. All right, so let's get this on here. Okay, and we're going to put this right here. All right, see just how nice that looks? It just has a nice little frame out. And they actually have some dies that come with this as well too. Mine are on the way, so I have some for myself as well as for my customers. So it makes it, the little post right here is what it does. So once it gets in, I'll have to show you so you see what it does. All right, we just put a couple here, right? Because this is going to be hanging, this is going to be actually off, and this one's going to be hanging on the top of the sign here. So again, we're crossing over, right? All right, so it's just going to come like this. So this part here is the tape, and it's just going to come over just like this right here. And we're centering it. Again, that tape's allowing it, because this is already raised, and this is just raising it to the same height as this other one is raised. That's all we're doing. Okay. Now we have the fish right here, and the fish is the same way. The fish has 2 dimensionals on the right side, because it's going to be off of what's already raised up. We'll take these off here. All right, and it's just going to go above the sign just like this here. Now everything we got here we can pretty much recreate with the Waterside Retreat paper and all, because it's all coordinated stuff. And I'll show you to that later in the week. All right, so we got this all on here. The only thing that we're missing is our bling. So you don't have to guess at that either. You can do more or less, but here they're showing you 5 different ones they're putting on there. Someone asked the other day, how do you know where they go? Well, they don't actually give you X marks the spot, but if you look at what the picture looks like here, and you look down here, you can see that the brown pieces are right down in there. So that's how we know we're going to put the pieces up. All right? So we're going to take 3 of these here, and we're just going to gather them down here in this corner. Yes, and so this paper is also, right? It's got puppy dogs on it, but it is something that you can get with paper pumpkin, right? You have to order it, though. But it's cute. I'm not sure if they're doing it anymore or not with these little puppies on it, but they're cute. We've always enjoyed it. All right, so I'm just putting 3 right there, just how they've done, and then I'm just going to come over here and put 2 over here, just like we just saw. Again, so you can see the picture. It's just right there. And again, right, it's like I tell people when I do classes, it's here to inspire you. You can do whatever you want, but it's definitely here to inspire you, give you some ideas, right? Help you along there just in case. And we always sort of do odd numbers, right? So there we go. So this is card number 1. How about that? All right, for the dads in our life, or their sons that are dads, right? All right, let's move on to card number 2. I really like this, and this could easily be recreated too with the Lakeside stuff. So I've got everything together. The striped paper, because looky here. Here's what we had with the Waterside Retreat paper, right? We'd already created something at the retreat on Saturday. So see how that goes together so nicely? Yep. And right, we could cut that in half and make 2 cards or more out of this alone. But I like to always do at least 1, right? Straight from the kid as is, just so you can see the difference and everything. Right? It's all about creating at least 1. I always try to do at least 1. All right, so the first thing they have us doing on here is they have us stamping happy birthday. And we're going to stamp it on this little piece right here. And I'm just making sure I got it turned the right way, because they've actually got, so if you're wanting to know, it's showing you that it's curved right here on the bottom. So that's the way I know it's curved, because this is in the kit and it's curved, right? So that's how I know where I'm going to put it. So it's just a matter of looking at the pictures, right? So we're just going to stamp happy birthday. I don't have anybody having a happy birthday from a guy in this month in the family, but we definitely do in July. I'm trying to think. I think that's all that we have, isn't it? We don't have any guys with birthdays in July, but we definitely have happy Father's Day before that, right? And I went ahead and posted this on the other side, so we could just do this here. And this is going to be on the smaller one. And this one says older, wiser, and better. Older, wiser, and better. Stuff like this is great to have in advance, right? Because I actually had some March birthdays for guys. I had a February birthday for guys, and I didn't have these cards at the time. But now I will have them. All right, and then we're just going to stamp the seagulls in the sky. Let's put this aside a second. Getting all our stamping done. This is real pretty. It has something just like this, very similar to this in the Waterside Retreat coordinating paper. And we're just going to put this up here in the sky. Makes me want to go to the beach. I'm due for a beach. Okay. And then we're just going to put the grass in here. And we have the grass. It looks like they stamped a couple places here. And so if you're wondering where, they give you arrows, right? So they're showing you that they've done some stamping here. And it looks like they've done some stamping as well there too, right? So they give you some arrows to point. All right, so we're going to stamp some here. And we're going to stamp a little bit just right up here. It just looks like it's right on top of what we already have. This gives a little bit fuller look. Okay. And you could, if you wanted to stamp some more, you could as well too. But we're leaving it at that. Okay, and I think we've got all the stamping you want us to do. So now it's off to putting the different things together, right? So the first thing here is we're going to put some tape on the back of here at the top and bottom. Right? It's just beautiful beach weather, right? It's definitely a time of year to, if you want to go before it gets way, way too hot, to go. Get your feet in the sand, go check out the seagulls. In my case, I like to go check out the dolphins too, right? Because for us, we actually have where we can go to a ferry. And the dolphin, there's a pod of dolphins that hang around the ferry. It's always nice to go and see them and watch them. They like to chase the big freighter ships coming in and jump in the wakes. It's really cool. I guess they do that every day because they always have boats coming in every day, right? So I don't know. So what do you got on your game plan today? What are you doing today on a Sunday afternoon? Right? Okay. So now we're just going to take this here, and I'm going to turn around and I'm going to put it on the front of the card. They actually have putting everything on front here, but I didn't. Sort of building it like I normally build cards if you ever went to my retreats or like with the stamp camp. So if you're wanting to know about the stamp camp is actually, it's going to be where we send packages out, and we're actually going to do some of it live on YouTube. Okay, so let's get that straight. So it'll be on YouTube, and then we will also have a couple of videos that'll just be posted there, right? Because we have 5 days to do 12 projects. So what we'll do is we'll do the projects we definitely think you might have questions about, ask, and do it live, and you do it together. And there might be a couple that are, it just depends on time, right? If we can get it all in one sweep, we will, right? If we can't, then we'll just make sure we have videos available. Okay, and here we go here. So it's a mixture, right? So once the camp will be a mixture of cards and 3D projects. All right, so we just put this right up here like they have there. All right, so now we have this part here that we're going to add to, and it's going to be at the bottom, and it's going to be added with well, I call it Terran tape. It is Terran tape. So yes, right? So it's not like a retreat. A retreat, we do 18 cards in one day, and we're all together the whole day to do that. This is a stamp camp that'll be spread out for a whole week, Monday through Friday, and we'll have the dates posted and information. And anybody can actually join in, but if you want the kit and everything and all, that's what it's about right now, is getting your kit. All right, so to have us just button this up right to where we stamped the grass here in the sand. All right, so that's where we are right there. Then we're going to turn around and have us putting this on with dimensionals. And then they're going to have us putting the happy birthday on with dimensionals as well, too. So we're just using dimensionals, 3 each, 1 on each end. Yeah, here you go. Get this off here. Get one here. I could create every day. Oh, I didn't do the bicycle. The bicycle's going on with dimensionals. I totally missed the bicycle. All right, okay, I can put this on. I see you now. I didn't realize I totally missed the bicycle. All right. Miss Zoe was not here to keep me on my A game. All right, so we're putting dimensionals on the wheels and one at the top up here. Looks like one in the center. So yes, bicycles are also in the Waterside Retreat paper too. I was just trying to think if we did that on one of the cards. Yeah, we did. So here was one of the cards we did. We did the bicycle. So you can see how the bicycle there and the bicycle here look the same. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I think it'd be cool to put them on a spinner. Watch the wheels spin. Okay, and we'll put one over here and another one over here. Yeah. Let's see here. Yep, it's just getting these little off. If you followed me before, a few weeks ago, I had such long fingernails, it was hard to get things off. Now I've got such short fingernails. That's hard to get things off. It's too funny, really. All right, and you can do this either way, right? They don't have it either way, but I'm actually putting mine just a little bit on top, like that. And then we're going to take the happy birthday, and we just have 3 dimensionals on it. Yeah. So if you feel like you need more than that, then put more than that. I would tell you that you always get more than you need in the kits. You always have extras. You always have extra tags in case you mess up and you need to do a redo, right? Or you can use them for other things. So I'm just putting this right down here, just like they've done here. And yes, we didn't cross over there. We just made sure it crossed, right? So we still got the green line there. And we got happy birthday. Let's see if we can see where they put the bling here. All right, because you can see the brown right here. So they have 3 blings, and they put it all around right over here. Okay, so we have one like this here. It looks like they put the 2 skinnier ones. So they actually just crossed over, right? This whole wood look right here. With green look. They did that there, and they did it over here too. So I'll put one there. And I'll put one on this other side. And this is our second card done, right? Just nice and easy. Put the little rocks all there together. And we've got a very nice happy birthday card, right? All right, so that's card number 2. All right, let's move on to card number 3. You can see it doesn't take very long, right? Okay, so here's card number 3. And here's all our pieces. And they get beautiful envelopes to go with these too. I'm just going to show you, right? These are always very nice to cut as well and to make a card as an alternative. Okay, we fold this in half. All right, so they have a stamping on here. So if you're looking, they have a stamping downwards. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Just in case you thought I wasn't paying attention or you thought I was stamping upside down. No, they're giving you their instructions to do it that way. All right, so I'm going to do one right here. I know, right? Sometimes when people give us instructions and you're looking at it, you're going, well, we're just seeing it from one aspect, right? Versus thinking about how it's going to look overall when we get done. And we put one over here. Okay. I really like this one that made it look like rope, right? That looks really cool. I like that. Okay, the other thing that we have a stamping on is we're going to stamp right here. We have one that's going to say, thanks, Dad. Just this. Okay, we'll be doing the rope on here. I was just bragging how much I like the rope. So we're going to do the rope on here. And we'll do the top and do the bottom. All right, and then we're going to do thanks, Dad. So actually that's going to be, I was standing those up. Those are actually going to be 2 different words. So I actually have to sit there and put these on here because I didn't have enough blocks to do all of it. So this is actually 2 words. So we have thanks, so it allows you to swap out thanks, Dad, thanks, son. So we're going to do the thanks first, and then we'll put Dad underneath it. I know a special little boy that really needs one of these to give to his daddy, because his daddy's always doing things for him. He's 5, but he can still say thanks, and he can still say thanks, Dad. Let's get Dad on here. So I'm going to put them, just trying to see where I'm going to put Dad at. All right. Yes, he's all right. So we always ask him. He's 5, right? So you work with your kids, your grandkids, right? Until they're adults and everything else. So we were working with him. Did you tell your daddy thank you? Because his daddy was busy creating him all kinds of things with a 3D printer. Because I don't remember. I said, it's okay. You can say thanks again. He goes, you guys always ask me that. I said, that's true. We do always ask you that. So that's what we do. All right. So the only other thing I have stamped on here was the part that says, can't read what it says. Okay, let's see on the back side here. So small, I have to have my glasses. It says you're a lifesaver, or it could be you're an inspiration. But I think because we already used it, I think it's you are a lifesaver. Yep, because they have the lifesaver on here as well too. All right, so we're going to stamp this off. It looks like it's offset to the left. So we're going to have to put this on a block. I'll put it on this one here. I was looking, we've used every stamp, we've used everything there is on the stamps here except for sun. Give you an idea of how well we use these stamps. All right, let's see here. This one's not going to work. We'll make it work. Yeah, so I'm using the front, but if you're wondering, I'm using the front and back of the block is what I'm doing. So if you don't have enough blocks, that's just a good way to do it. In this particular case, since I didn't clean my stamps first, I just want to make sure that it was going to be off to the side. So I'm just going to put it off to the side like they did in the instructions. All right, so now we're ready for assembly. So we've already stamped here. And then what they do is they have this putting these circles together. So the back side of this circle here is going to be done with dimensionals. And I ran out of dimensionals that one, but I always have plenty more. So they just have us putting quite a few of them here on the back. And we put some in the center. So yes, if you're out there, yes, be working on yours, right? It's a great time to come together, and this is what we usually do when we get together. Whether it's here, whether it's the tea shop or whatever, right? We come together and we work on some projects together. This is just a great way to do it. So just mark your calendar, right? The last Sunday of the month is when so this kit here is the actual April kit. Yes, I was double checking, right? Because I always receive mine toward the end of the month. And then, we're still working on it until we get the next kit. So this is April's. So right at the end of May, the last Sunday in May, is we'll be working on the next kit, which will be the May kit. So we're just centering this. So see how nice this is going to look? We're centering it from left to right there. Off a little bit. So just, if you haven't pressed it down very heavy yet, right, just lift it up gently. It'll come up, and we're going to put it on there. All right, the next circle here, with all the scenery on it. Now this, I can tell you, does not come into the kit, the Waterside Retreat paper. They do have other scenes, but not this particular scene. This particular scene is just in the kit. But you have 3 of them in the kit, right? So in this kit, you have enough to make 9 projects plus, right? You have leftover stuff, so if you want to use the leftover stuff, you can. Makes it nice and easy. And then we're going to sit there. Just, it goes in the center just like that. How pretty is that, right? We don't even have to use Wink of Stella. And then with this one here, we're going to sit there and use tape on the back of it. So the reason why they have you doing this in instructions to do this a little bit off to the left when your print is to the right side. We're going to put the life preserver and the boat paddles, right? But we'll get this on first. And then we have our dad's sign there to put together. And we'll tuck it where it looks like it's underneath. It'll be just touching it, right? All right, and we're just going to have it overlap just like this. I just sort of eyeball it, right? I don't get anything out to measure it or anything else. I just sort of eyeball it the best I can. Now this is long, so you can see it's easy to sort of center it best you can there. All right, then we're going to put this together. And again, so with this one, they actually have us using just tear and tape. It's the actual sign itself is we're going to do just like we did a while ago, right? Part of it will be tear and tape, and the other part will be dimensionals. Because part of what we're going to put it next to or on is already on dimensionals, right? So that just keeps the height level the same. All right, so this part is going to go on, we're creating the sign. This says, "Thanks, Dad." I do it like this. All right, so the top part of this, right at the top, is where we're going to put the tear and tape, and the bottom is where we're going to sit there and use dimensionals. Okay. And where's my dimensionals? There we go. We're just going to put 2 at the bottom. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know, but Sundays are like my free days, right? So I can just relax and chill. So actually, I'm not cooking. Somebody is cooking for me. Boop, boop. So I don't have to cook dinner, which that's really nice. Oops. Okay, so we're just putting it where it looks like it's hanging from there, right? And we're just doing it like that. Then we have our 2 boat paddles here. They are going to be put on with dimensionals. So the actual bottom of the paddles are going to be put on with dimensionals, and the top part is going to have just a little bit of tear and tape, according to the instructions here. So we're going to put the boat paddles down here, right? So this is just how easy it is to create with 3 cards, right? So if you didn't want to do anything else but just create it just like it is in the box, this is how easy it is to do. It's not rocket science. Everything's right there for you. And once you've done one, you're like, okay, I can do the rest now. Well, right, you can. And so the Waterside Retreat paper, the one we were talking about earlier, that's coming out on May 5th, it actually has boat paddles in it as well too. Let's see what they have in our life preserver. So our life preserver, when you flip it over, it's going to have 3 dimensionals here on the left side. So we'll go ahead and do those while we get it out. Just a lot of cool things happening, right? I just love the idea of Winnie the Pooh, which that's coming out the 5th. But so we get it. So as a demonstrator, right, we get to get our stuff early and to make samples, right? So I was able to make some for the retreat. And then, now we can go ahead and get our stamp camp all done, right? So we're just doing this just like it has here. One looks like it's just coming right here and it's hanging down. I'll put the other one over it. So that it's just really cool stuff, right? And it all goes with all new in colors. So just a lot of cool things happening. And just right, just in time, May's like the time for getting ready for school to be out, what you're planning for your summer. This is just so we're just sort of crisscrossing things, right? Just like this. So that my dimensionals are holding it up, right? And we're going to put this on here, and this is the last piece. Then we have made our 3 cards. And we got to put our they don't have you putting any bling on this one. Okay. So we're not putting any of those little blings on here. I was going to say, we still need to put our bling, but they're not doing that. All right, so we're just crisscrossing over here just like this. Okay, so there you go. So let's get our 3 cards here. We'll see how it looks like on the front. And we'll see how ours looks like. So again, there's a total of 9 to make in the kit. Here's the one we just made. And here's our other 2. So you can see it doesn't take terribly long, right, to make them. So here's our second one. And here is our third one, right there together. And then as I showed you earlier, these are made from the coordinating paper with the Waterside Retreat. So you can see that this is a DSP. And the DSP, you can see how the wood here matches the wood on these cards. We got the bikes that match the bikes here. We've got the life preservers that match. And we also have the boat paddles that also match too, right? And then here's some of them. We got fish. So we could easily make some of the stuff like this right here, right? I could have cut some fish out and done this as well too. So it all coordinates together, and that's what makes it so nice. Where's my third one? Oh, my third one was the blue one, yes. So instead, this one's, you can turn it sideways just like this one did here. It's just going to be wider, but you see how it all matches, right? So there you go. It just shows you how all things coordinate and makes just things fun for being able to create together. So with that, right, we can go back up here. So I want to thank you for joining us today, right? It's all about getting together and creating together. And this is a fun kit. Like I said, we made 3 out of the 9 today. And there's plenty of opportunities for alternatives. And also, we'll be giving away a door prize today. So with that, be blessed, have an amazing week, and go out there, create, share, and give to someone. So I have to think about who I'm going to give these cards to. And also, I want to thank you for supporting us not only here, but also on YouTube and Instagram and on Adventurous Stamping. All right, be blessed, have an amazing week, and look forward to seeing you soon. As soon as we get off this live, we will go collect all the names, do the door prizes. All right? See you soon. Bye.